Hello guys, The Honest Collector, back with another video, and today I'm going to be reviewing another Marvel Legends figure, or rather three actually, because here we're going over the Marvel Legends Spider-Man No Way Home infamous 3-pack. Easily one of the best Marvel Legends to ever be released. I'm kidding, this 3-pack got so much hate even before it came out and stuff, and they already knew that it was going to look trash. And yeah, we get some really cool box art and stuff, except for when you look at the back and you see 3D renders of these guys, which look so much better than the actual figure. It's ridiculous. It screams like so much better than that. I don't know, it's such a shame. I don't even think the blues are right. I think they also got those wrong as well. I did repaint my figures blue. I did repaint their blue a little different. They were originally purple. I don't know. I think it might be more prominent on Andrew. Let me get him. Right here, there's like a huge separation in the color, as you could see from that regular, or that painted blue to the regular purple that they had going on there. You can also see it here a little bit, but yeah, I'm definitely gonna get this lighting fixed. This does not look right. But yeah, so you can see the box art here. You get all the accessories on the back, and then the 3 horrible web pieces. I really like that they have the symbols on each figure on the back. That's pretty cool. So turning the box around, of course, you see probably the most photoshopped image of Marvel Legends in the Windows. Okay, that just happened. In the windowless packaging. So here you also get the Spider-Man No Way Home logo at the top, and that should be it. And yeah, let's get this 3-pack open. Alright, so here are the figures in their most standard pose, because besides the actual classic poses, it's pretty hard to get them into any other real good posing that doesn't just make it look really weird. It's like, I'll get onto it about the articulation, but so far here are what the figures look like out of the box, and let's get onto the accessories that they come with first. Alright, so here are the accessories that the figures come with. Just right away, I'm just gonna go with this web, because this is obviously the same piece that we got for like 11 years, 10 years. You get 3 of them for each figure, but they literally don't matter, and I don't care enough to find the other 2, but this is it. Yeah, so this can go. We got 3 of these in replacement of the head sculpts, because according to Hasbro, they didn't have the license to the figures yet, which then why didn't you just hold off on the 3-pack? Why? They said they spared no expense, which you can clearly see is a lie later. But like, if they really wanted to deliver us a 3-pack with the stuff we wanted to make it worth the $103, I think that they should have waited, and we could have gotten those head sculpts. But no, they released them as separate figures for another $25. Anyway, so moving on to the accessories, Tobey's hands here are actually really cool, because they recreate exactly that one photo or the poster for the original Spider-Man movie, so I actually really appreciate that. These both can be used as wall-crawling hands, so I'm completely fine with the way these look. And then he has the punching hands, which is, you know, normal. I'll get onto the proportioning later. And then he has the whipping hands, which the fingers look really small, and that's on all of these for Tobey. Like, these fingers look really tiny compared to the others. Like, it's ridiculous. It looks really, really goofy. And the web painting on these hands aren't really great, and it gets worse as you look at the figure. So I did, like I said, I did custom paint these. The only thing I touched was the blue on these figures. I did not touch the red at all. I left the red alone, except on the Tobey. I did add some, like a little bit of some black dry brushing, just to kind of give it a little more of a darker look, to accentuate the look that he had, where it sometimes was bright. But you could still tell it's pretty bright compared to the image that I have right up here. So yeah, it's not like too much to where it's like, oh, these are completely different figures. The blue is just different. I think now you'd be able to see the amount of purple that these figures actually were, because I did not paint inside the joints, so you can very well see that. which, yeah, like right there you could see that's the original purple that it was, which, like, in some cases I guess, but it's also blue, so it just doesn't, it looked really weird to me. Of course the image is right up here, but yeah, so the incorrect colors, but that's more on for the detail. Moving on to the Tom Holland accessories. So here, for some reason, I have no idea why are the black, or why are the midnight blue spots sculpted with web lines when they shouldn't be. It should just be the fingers. And then the fingers aren't painted with the web lines, even though the rest of the figure is. So, like, it just looks really weird when you put it together. By the way, yeah, he still has these gauntlet things, so those can still come off, which is really annoying. But like they said, they spared no expense. Definitely. Why can't I get this back on? Yeah, there you go. So it just looks really weird actually on the figure when these are the only things that aren't painted. So that also does not help. He gets the punching hands, which are fine. They're appropriately sized. And then the whipping hands aren't really anything too crazy. They're just fine. And then with Andrew, the hands look the best. I just don't like this hand. I don't know what this is. It's just, is he holding something? I have no idea. Apparently it's supposed to be a wall crawling hand, but his fingers are pointing inward. It looks like, if anything, it's like a half pointed finger. Like, instead of giving us the pointing hands, they like gave us wall crawling hands, but said, hey, instead of giving them pointing hands, it can just look like he's pointing at someone for the meme, even though none of the other figures have anything like that, which is really stupid. But yeah, so he comes with punching hands, which look fine as well. The paint is actually really good on this. I like this a lot. And then the whipping hands, of course, are just basically, you know, your average whipping hands, no curl on the finger or anything. But I'm fine with that. I don't really care. It looks good. The Andrew one looks good. So moving away from the accessories and now on to the actual figures. Okay, so getting Tom out of the way, like I said before, you could take these gauntlets off, which leaves those weird, like, just indented areas. And if you're wondering what that looks like with the hand, it looks really stupid. It does not look good at all, because now his wrist looks really small. You might not notice it that much, but, like, it just looks really weird. I don't like that at all. So putting this back on. The gauntlets are actually painted, like, okay. They're not bad. How do I get this back on? Yeah, the gauntlets are painted nicely, but they shouldn't be there in the first place. And this is a This is a re-release of the same figure, basically. Literally the same figure, just different paint. This one was gray. However, I completely damaged this up, but I'll show you guys that later. So yeah, so really clean paint here. This looks really good. I actually love the detail. Let me get the rest of the accessories out of the way. I really love the detail that they put in here. The gold looks beautiful. It looks nice and clean. Unlike the other one, I had this huge paint splotch of gold. It looked really bad. The back looks really nice as well. So a lot of people were complaining that since this is basically the Far From Home suit with the golden like logo, it should be black, and I don't agree, because it's technically part of the Iron Spider and the Far From Home suit, so it would make sense that it transitions to like a midnight blue kind of grayish mixture, which I actually really like, and it does look like that in the actual movie. So the lenses look okay. They're fine. The head sculpt looks good. I'm fine with that. They painted the web lines gray, which I actually don't hate. It looks fine like this. Nothing really to complain about here. This was a pretty okay figure when it first came out, and since there's barely any changes, only a small bit of upgrades, that's fine. I just wish that we didn't have these web gauntlets, and I'll get on to the reason why I honestly just don't think this figure should be here in the first place, or at least it should be just a separate release from this 3-pack, but I'll get on to that later. Overall, it's okay, and it's not bad, but it shouldn't be here. Alright, here is the Tobey Maguire Spider-Man. Now, I absolutely love Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man. I love the Raimi trilogy so much. It's my introduction to Spider-Man. I first got introduced to Tobey Maguire. That was the first time I really saw a Spider-Man movie, and I absolutely loved all 3 of them. I was young when I saw Spider-Man 3, but I still love Spider-Man 3. I don't care what anyone says. So, yeah, you can see here, this figure looks like garbage, and if you don't understand why, don't worry, I'll tell you. So, the way they engineer their ab crunches is they think it's like some crazy new thing. So you have the twist up top and the crunch on the bottom, okay? Since the diaphragm can't really do that much, even though it does a fair amount, but not good enough for Spider-Man, of course. Marvel Select. But yeah, so anyway, they do this here, which works good, don't get me wrong, especially back, holy crap. But it just makes Toby look like he has such a gut. It doesn't look right. There's no real way. Like, look at the way the web shapes around. It just shifts in whatever way that works for the articulation. And sometimes that'll work and I'll pass it by, but this just looks really bad. The proportions are absolutely horrible on this figure. It doesn't look good at all. The calf is way longer than it should be. I'm pretty sure it should match up right to his butt, but instead, if you get it normally, it actually goes up to like his hips, basically. It doesn't really look that great. It just, the thighs are so big and it's not even full of any muscle at all. It's just all pudginess, and as well as the abs and stuff like that. Toby has definition, and even in No Way Home, he has muscle definition, at least a shape to him. Here, they didn't do that at all. It's basically just up, down, and then for the shoulders, they put him a little bit out. Barely any pecs either. It just does not look good at all, and it doesn't look like the way Tobey Maguire looked in the movie whatsoever. And like, sometimes Hasbro can really get them in good, you know, proportioning and stuff, but sometimes they absolutely just throw it out of the window, and this is unfortunately one of those cases. They did not deliver with this at all. And it also doesn't help that Toby's hands are incredibly small compared to his wrists. There's small gaps because it should be bigger in the hands, but they're not, and it looks really, really weird. This just looks really, really bad, and it sucks because I love Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man, but like, it just looks goofy, and he has like such big feet. I mean, I guess it's okay, it makes sense for him, but like, when you see that Andrew has such small feet, even though he's the tallest, it doesn't really make sense. This figure, gosh, Hasbro really did not deliver at all. And the webbing, the painting here is not good either. It's not even painted correctly on the actual web line. It's like either underneath it or on top of it, so it looks like in some areas it's barely even painted. The silver isn't even the right silver. It was more like a gunmetal gray, kind of like the Spider logo, but a little more shinier, like metallic. This one they just chose like a white silver, and it just looks really bad. And of course the mask as well, it's the smallest bit misaligned. Okay, well, that actually looks really bad, but like, yeah, it's misaligned really badly. You could see it's supposed to go in a lot more right there, but it's not. And you know, yeah, you have to zoom in to really see it, but once you do, you can see it. I could see it from here. I'm not even looking at it in the camera lens anymore. It's just really bad. The mask doesn't look right either. And I know people are going to say, well, it didn't look right in No Way Home. It looked fine in No Way Home. It did not look like this. This just doesn't look right at all. The SH Figuarts nailed it. They did fine. And yeah, they're an import company, but it's just a head sculpt. And Hasbro has proven to do so much better. This Miles figure from the game looks just like the one in the actual video game. So they know how to do stuff right, or some stuff right, because there are problems with this figure. But like with this one, they just did so bad on it. It's crazy. And this is majority of people's favorite Spider-Man. Andrew, yeah, he got a redemption, but everyone really wanted the Tobey Maguire figure. I bought this 3-pack for all 3 of them, or well, not this one. I bought this 2-pack for the 2 of them, and they just decided to crap all over it. So you have tiny hands, really fat thighs, and just crappy proportioning on the legs. You gave Toby a beer belly, and then you have no muscle definition at all. Not proper proportioning at all either, and the back doesn't even look good. If you crunch him down, the spider grows like 2 extra legs on the side, and it doesn't even match up with the rest of this broken sculpt. So it just has so many problems, and as soon as you pose it, the spider just gets decapitated. There's so many problems with this figure. It's really, like, it looks nice from a distance, but that's it. I haven't even gotten to the articulation yet. But to save time, I will go on to the next figure. This sucks. Also, it's the complete wrong shade of blue. Anyway, so going to a much better figure, we have the Andrew Garfield figure, which looks so much better. They really redeemed themselves with this guy, and he looks really good. The proportioning is better. You can see he has actual muscle definition. The proportions look a little better because the chest actually goes a little bit more out here. It looks good. The head sculpt is dead on to Andrew Garfield's suit, and the webbing, the painting looks absolutely amazing. This just looks really, really good. They got all the sculpt, all the texture, all the detail right, but the red is the wrong shade of red, and it's a really dark red, but I've honestly just grown to kind of put past it, and I think it's fine. It's okay. I really wish it was a lighter red, but I got over it. This figure is really freaking good. It looks so nice, but it sucks that you have to buy this $103 3-pack just to get this awesome figure right here, and with a crappy Toby. I also love Andrew Garfield too. I like it. I don't know if I have a favorite Spider-Man, so I can't really be biased. I think there's definitely a best Spider-Man out there, but Andrew is my favorite. But yeah. So do with that information what you will. Andrew's probably not the best. I don't know. His movies were really rough. But anyway, yeah. So this looks really good. It's a lot better handled than the Toby one. You can still see the difference in that blue to purple ratio there, and I'm pretty sure you can see that in the knees too. The separation of color. I bend them like that. Yeah, you can see this figure still suffers from the discolor and purple syndrome. So that really sucks. I did repaint it, but for the people that can't, they're gonna have to live with that problem, which really sucks, and I don't like that. But other than that, this figure just looks really good. They even have the web shooters on him, which look awesome. They're not painted, so I honestly might paint that, but they look pretty good. They're sculpted nicely, and they're sculpted well enough. Majority of the web shooters were red anyway. But yeah, so really good looking figure. I actually really like this a lot. Maybe if the shoulders were the smallest bit higher, because you can see those gaps a little bit. But other than that, pretty good. I really like this a lot. The proportioning is so much better on this figure. Going on to the articulation with this figure. Now, again, with the head, he looks this far up, which is horrible. And people keep saying that the disc hinge will work better, but that's only because Hasbro does not know how to do double ball pegs. I will always continue to say this with these figures. The ball is too recessed into the neck. It's put way too far deep into there, and it gives it less range. Putting a huge cut in the back of the neck is not going to help it. All you have to do is push the ball higher, and higher in the neck there, and then it can even be a smaller ball and the longer peg, honestly. So yeah, you get the tilt though, which isn't bad. Hasbro's done way better though. So yeah, so he looks this far down, which you have that huge gap there, which kind of sucks. But yeah, so far that's the head, and then the arms move not up to 90 degrees, which again is a bummer, especially since this is a remake of the figure. He has the bicep swivel, which is fine. The double jointed elbows are actually really good. They work perfectly like they need to. Then the hand articulation is the standard hinge that Hasbro always uses. And then you have the butterfly joints, which are not good. And then you have the ab crunch, which is fine. It's actually not bad. And then backward is not bad, but it's less than forward, and it feels like it should move back at least a little bit. But yeah, so that's fine. Waist twist is normal. You have the upper thigh cut there, which is fine. The leg kicks out this far, and then kicks back that far. I mean, it doesn't really need to, if we're being honest. The splits, let's see if he could do them. Almost. It's pretty good. I mean, they've done worse, so that's not bad at all. The double jointed knees are fine. They work well enough. Then you have the ankle pivot, or not ankle pivot, but ankle rocker. It goes down this much, it goes up this high if you push it up there, and then it also can rock side to side there, so that's also good as well. And yeah. Okay, moving on to the Toby. Oh gosh. Okay, so again, he suffers from barely being able to look up, and that sucks because his pose relies on his head looking up, which he cannot do. Again, cutting the back of the neck is not going to help. You just need to do better on the double ball pick. Anyway, so he can look up a little bit, he can look down quite a bit, and then he can pivot side to side quite a bit, which is good. It's good enough. I don't know why they have these seams on the neck. They made it look like, you know, they were going to give us separate neck pieces. They always do that. I don't know why now with Spider-Man figures. It's really weird because it's on all of them, I believe. Yeah, Andrew, Tobey, and Tom. So that's really weird. The arms move up this high, which I don't know why they made it blue, red, and then blue again. They didn't do that on the Tom figure, and they didn't do that on the Andrew figure either. This is supposed to be red, so that makes sense. But like, why? I have no idea. But yeah, so the arms move up this high, which is fine. It's actually good enough. You have the bicep swivel, which is good, and then you have the double jointed elbows, which work nicely enough. The standard hinge for the wrist, and then you have the twist up top with the diaphragm joint. So the diaphragm joint by itself moves this far back, which isn't bad. Let me see there. And then this much forward, which actually isn't bad either. And then the ab crunch moves this far back, which is crazy. Then this far forward, and then combining them that far forward, that much back, which is crazy. So yeah, that'll be the articulation, the torso. And then with the legs, oh gosh, because these are so big for no reason, the splits is terrible. He can't really do it. You have the drop down, which doesn't work because it doesn't even really do much. It sucks. And then to actually move it high enough, you have to scratch and indent the actual gummy plastic of the thighs. Then you have the thigh swivel there, which is fine. It doesn't kick back at all. The double jointed knees work pretty much almost perfectly. And then you have the ankle moving this far down, that high up, which is really nice. And then the ankle rocker, which is always really good for these Marvel Legends figures. And yeah, that's going to be it for the articulation. So now moving on to Andrew. Oh gosh. Okay, so he suffers the same exact head joint problem, looks down this far, which is fine, then does the pivot like all the other ones. Now the diaphragm joint doesn't crunch down forward at all, and that really sucks. It crunches back a small bit, and then with the ab crunch he's able to move this far back and then this far forward, which sucks for posing. It is so bad, especially when they literally made Tobey bend this much forward. I don't know how they messed it up so bad. You might as well give an Andrew a regular diaphragm joint. But yeah, so that really sucks. But of course he can pivot side to side a small bit. There you go. Now you can see also the purple to blue ratio there. So it's not really good in the torso. The arms move up this high, which is okay. The bicep swivel works. Double jointed elbows are perfect. And then you have the standard wrist hinge that Hasbro does. For the thighs, you have the thigh cut, which works. It kicks this high up, and then with the drop down, a little better than Tobey, honestly. You definitely can move this figure better than Tobey, and you can get him in poses that don't look as weird. And I think that's because Andrew is proportioned better. So, yeah, not bad, to be honest. And then the splits are so much better than Tobey. Holy crap. Oh my gosh, those drop down hips are crazy. But yeah, so that's good. Double jointed knees work fine. And then with the ankle, moves this far down, this far up, and then you have the ankle rocker. Alright, so measuring these figures, you could see that Andrew stands, I want to say, almost a little under 6.5 inches there. However, Tom Holland gets like dwarfed, and he's around almost up to 6 inches right there. And then for Tobey, he is quite a bit under the 6.5 inch mark. Okay, we're going to try and do a quick lightning round because I have a lot of figures to compare these guys to. So first up, we're going to go with the Tobey and Andrew next to the Retro Shocker. Here they are next to the Gamerverse Marvel Legends Miles Morales from Marvel Spider-Man 2. Here they are next to the Retro Wave Symbiote Spider-Man suit. Here they are next to the Sony movie Venom. Here they stand next to the Mark 85 Marvel Legends Iron Man. Here they stand next to the Gamerverse Marvel Spider-Man PS4 suit. Here they are next to the 20th Anniversary Hulk figure. Here they stand next to the Marvel Legends Retro Wave Scorpion. Here they stand next to the Marvel Legends Across the Spider-Verse Miguel O'Hara. Here they are next to the Marvel Legends Retro Wave Sandman, who is missing a sand construct. And here they are next to the Marvel Legends Stan Lee. And now here's the Tom Holland figure next to all those other figures. And here he is next to the Marvel Legends Stan Lee. Alright, so what's my final verdict on these figures? What is a final opinion? This is not worth it in the slightest. For the Andrew figure, yeah. I mean, if you really don't care about those two hands that you're missing, then I would just get the $25 one that they just released with the extra head sculpt, because this is just simply not worth it. To the crappy proportioning, to the crap articulation, and the paint as well, that's just sometimes not there, or not applied enough or correctly at all. It just seems like it was so rushed, and I think that's the problem. If they actually waited to do everything, and they just did it correctly, this 3-pack could have been hands down the best Marvel Legends ever made, and it would have been, you know, like, so much higher in demand, and it would have really made it feel like it was worth that $100 price point. But this is not at all. Originally it's like 80, but then with, you know, tax and plus the Pulse shipping, it's an exclusive. I think it's like $90, 90 bucks. But this is just not worth it at all. I would honestly just get the single releases, because I regret buying this so much. I don't recommend you buy it at all. This is not a good 3-pack, and for that, this 3-pack gets a 3 out of 10. And that's gonna be it. So if you guys enjoyed, please give this video a like, and if you're new, please subscribe, for I am trying to really grow this channel out. If you enjoyed my content, or if you enjoyed this video, I do have another video up as of right now, but trust me, I will have so much more up in the future. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.